What's up, everybody? Another special midweek beer review. And this one, I've left it out for a few hours because I wanted to get into a nice, cool room temperature because I want all that's in here to come out and play. I am, of course, rocking the man, the myth, the legend, Dave's TV right now because Dave has been to this brewery. It is from New Groove, very good friends of mine, and it is a very special release from November's Black Friday, to be specifically their Black Friday release called Missed Your Plane. That's a little funny story. Uh, I think it was a conference that one of the guys or someone that they knew was at a beer conference, and they got a little wild, and someone missed their plane to get back. So, pretty funny story, and it's a 500 ml bottle, and I spent way too much money on these two bottles that I bought. So, that's another reason why I wanted to let it warm up and have everything come out to play, because I want to get every single bit of goodness that these sips have to offer. It is, and everything of these, they always do several variants of this at Black Friday every year. So there's a generic name across it that is Missed Your Plane 2025. This is the German chocolate cake variant. Across the top of the label, acoustic series of wood-aged ales. New Groove Artisan Brewery. I'm going to try to read this best I can. Now, I'm not sure how well you could see it on camera, but I will show it up. There is a picture on the label. It kind of looks like a barrel with a drum kit on it, or the barrel is the drum kit. Something kind of like that. And stout aged in whiskey barrels with whole vanilla, cocoa, coconut, and pecans. So that wasn't actually too hard to read. It's just very, very light font. Meticulously brewed and bottled by New Groove Artisan Brewery. Address in Boiling Springs, newgroovebrew.com. Illustration by Jessica Thornton with the 500 ml. Now, I do have it on Untapped, but I'm also noticing the gravity is not super obvious on there. I want to say it's 15% because I think all of the Missed Your Plane variants are always 15%. So it's heavy. It's a big boy. On Untapped, we'll check this out. The totals are very low, but that's not uncommon because these are pretty a pretty limited release every single year. They do a batch of them every single year, and they're not something that is going to get a lot of check-ins. So the fact that they're anywhere close to 100 is pretty solid in its own right. 78 total, 66 unique, 63 ranked, 4.36. So it is very, very high amongst an understandably small sample size, kind of by design, I suppose. 14.8 ABV is confirmed. No IBUs are listed. It is classified as an Imperial Pastry Stout, a blended Imperial Stout utilizing three distinct stout threads from our barrel cellar. First, we have strong, chocolatey, thick Imperial Stout aged in Founder's Rye and Dutchess Private Reserve casks from Taconic Distilling in New York for 34 months, 42%. I would imagine that's the proof. With a sweet milk stout recipe aged in Willett Family Estate 9-year bourbon casks for 3 years at 28%. So that can't be the proof. Maybe that's the gravity. No, yeah, because the proof would be like 90. I'm an idiot. Yeah, 42% alcohol and then 28% alcohol. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. And a high gravity, low body Imperial Stout aged 17 months in a 10-year Henry McKenna barrel, 30% gravity. Infused with toasted Georgia pecans, rich dark chocolate, and toasted coconut. So there is a lot of elements in here. And shout out to New Groove for embracing the pull tab on wax top bottles. Yes, any bottle I will see from here on out that has a pull tab on it gets an extra special shout out. Provided I don't screw this up royally and not release the entire thing. All right, we'll work that down a little bit more. All right, we know should cook since it is a bottle. But now I know, or I think I know, what Alan from One Flight Down says to a bottle. Clack? Was that what it was on his anniversary special? There. Got it. All right. Swirl that around. Oh my. We hard pour it as we do on the channel, but it's a stout. It's not going to do much. As you can see, no head, but it's got like a thick, boozy, almost chocolate fudge type of bubbles on the top. It's a very interesting looking bubbles over the top of that beer. It's looks like the chocolate is very, very thick and dense. Yes, the German chocolate cake variant of Mr. Plain. All right, let's get the aroma. We're looking for pecans, we're looking for dark chocolate, and we're looking for coconut. Always something that's kind of hard and sometimes fun to find. Oh, okay. I didn't get it at first, but I eventually did. The coconut, and on the first sniff, the coconut's there. So and I kind of got a little, slightly different, but more, for all intents and purposes, the same type of aroma on the second sniff. It starts off very nutty, which would imply the pecans, and then the coconut starts to come in a little bit more as it settles into your nostrils. It's very heavily chocolate, so it's definitely chocolate first, but it's a little bit of nutty up front and then coconut on the back end of the aroma. They're all there. The aroma stacks up. Every note is there and absolutely solid. Cheers, everyone. Body is mouthfeel is chocolate milk. The body is also chocolate milk, but in a kind of dark chocolate kind of way. If you were to make chocolate milk with dark chocolates and a milk chocolate, that's kind of what the body reminds me of, and that is what the predominant flavor is. I am getting a little bit of nuttiness around the palate, on the edge, over the top, and on the edges. The coconut's kind of buried. And I've only had this for a couple months or so, maybe 9 weeks. So for a stout, that's certainly not sitting very long. At the time I'm reviewing it, at the time of release, it'll be longer than that. But the time I'm reviewing this, it's probably about 9 weeks. So the coconut is, and it's more than room temperature. The coconut, there's a little bit of a mouthfeel that reminds you of coconut shavings, coconut flakes, but the flavor is buried in all that chocolate for sure. There is a little bit of the nuttiness though. So I said 3 out of 3 on the aroma, 2.5 out of 3 on the flavor, because I kind of get what coconut feels like, but I don't necessarily get what coconut tastes like. All in all, it's very, very good. It does not drink like 15%. It does drink boozy. It does drink heavy. Don't get me wrong. This is not sneaky whatsoever. But it does not drink like 15%. It drinks like 10.5, maybe 12 on a good day. So it's fair, and it's got a lighter body. Although it is very decadent and creamy, it's got a lighter body than you would think for the gravity and how many barrels they threw it in. So that is very, very good. It would like a little bit more coconut, but at least I got in the aroma, and I kind of get a little bit of the other kind of aspects of coconut. So it's very, very tasty, and I'm gonna have no problem sipping on this tonight as I try to find something to watch on TV. Cheers, everyone. See you next time.